Shahnameh stories, miniature moment. Khosrow's army besieges Bahman castle and fights the Deevs. The storming of Bahman castle is one of the most unusual supernatural encounters recorded in the Shahnameh. The incident takes place at the end of the long and eventful reign of Khosrow, who decided to abdicate his throne but could not choose between his second son Fariborz or his grandson Khosrow, the son of the tragic Prince Siavash, who had been murdered by the Turanians. In the interest of fairness and to avoid resentment, he therefore announced that whoever vanquished the demon-filled fort known as Bahman Castle would become the new Shah of Iran. Fariborz tried first, but as soon as he began his assault against the wizard realm, the ground surrounding the castle magically burst into flames and forced him to beat a hasty retreat. Khosrow, however, called upon the power of the Almighty to come to his aid. Summoning a scribe, he dictated a letter in Pahlavi. "I am the renowned Khosrow," he declared, "imbued in soul and body with godly far, the divine right of kings. I shall smite the head of Ahriman with my mace and command the castle to fall to the rightful king, not by magic, but in the name of God." The message was attached to the head of a long spear and taken to the castle. As soon as the letter was nailed to the high walls, a roar went up amid a swirl of black cloud. The world turned dark, and then, with a thunderous crack, the ramparts split apart, the walls disintegrated, and came crashing down. As the walls crumbled, Khosrow's archers fired, and arrows rained like a cloud of sleet upon the Deevs, who fell in the dust, their insides split open. Then, by the name of God and the king's far, a great light shone, dispersed the darkness, and made the world like a shining moon. A breeze bestowed blessings, and the heavens and earth smiled again. Khosrow then returned home in triumph and accepted the Iranian crown. There are only a handful of paintings depicting this scene. This example shows the aftermath of the collapse of Bahman Castle and highlights the chaos and difficulty of scaling the ramparts that are manned by three enormous, identical, and unusual bat-like Deevs who look down in amusement upon the siege. However, as expected, the most quirky and delightful comes from one of the 5D folios of the Shahnameh of Shah Tahmasp, of which we have so far looked at those of Hushang and Tahmures. In this extravaganza, 12 Deevs, some of whom are killed in the onslaught or lie dead after falling from the battlements, manifest a kaleidoscope of emotions that include sassiness, audacity, shyness, coyness, timidity, and resignation. The painting has warped time in order to incorporate several events at once. Set in front of the nearly impregnable castle, it shows the Prince Khosrow on the edge of the now oxidized silver moat as he commands the walls to fall to the rightful king in the name of God. However, at the same time, it depicts the aftermath of the collapse of the walls, when the demons are cast out either by being thrown over or captured. The prince is seen on his black charger looking on triumphantly as the Deevs are driven out. His authority is portrayed by the elaborate, tall, double plumes of his helmet and the swagger of his puffed-out chest and parading elbows. The somewhat stereotyped blank expressions of the rosy-cheeked men contrast the delight and humour with which the artist allocates a range of expressions, from rage to fear and embarrassment to the Dives. At the centre, a pink Dive with red hair, beard, and moustache is led out over the drawbridge of the castle. Dressed in an elegant silk and gold turquoise tunic that flows open to reveal his ample private parts, his scrawny, spotted body is covered with red shaggy hair, with his arms and legs punctuated with gold bangles. Turning back anxiously to the sceptre-wielding soldier threatening him, his Yoda-like ears flop down in dismay over his worried eyebrows and flared moustache. Above him, on the ramparts, 3 scared and shocked Dives peek through the windows as 2 of their companions face Khosrow's soldiers. On the right, a burly, grey-bearded Div tries to latch on for dear life as a young soldier grabs him by the horn and thigh and heaves him over. To the left, in the most charming of defences, a dainty Div in a pink skirt cowers at the pending wallop from the raised sword. His arms aloft, his hands twist to ward off the attack as his elaborate horns curl sheepishly over the dismayed eyebrows and pleading eyes. But in contrast to his sorry supplication, above him to the left, another pink Div with a scraggly beard and a paunch turns, stares defiantly at his attacker, and lifts his leg as if to jump. His threat is seemingly so convincing that the soldier who had raised his sword to strike him now extends a conciliatory hand as if to talk him out of the suicidal leap. In front of him, a soldier calmly dangles a severed Div head that looks down in horror at the scrambling detached body below, much to the consternation of the horses that gape in cross-eyed confusion.